Perfect.
All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See what else coming at you. And it is SWAC basketball time. So we're going to talk about all the action that took place yesterday on Saturday, January 6th. We got games coming up on Monday. This is the first of 18 games for each team, man. So, we're not going to put a lot of stock into these, man, 'cause we still got 17 more of these things. But, it's always good to see SWAC basketball back. Put the non-conference away, start to get ready for March, which is where it's most important. But a lot of good action today, so we're going to talk about all of it, men and women. We're going to talk about all of it. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked here. But before we do that, man, y'all hit those socials: Facebook is SWAC Talk, Instagram SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. Also, if you have any kind of suggestions or anything, you get the email swagtalk76@gmail.com. Don't forget to like the video. Hit that subscribe button, man. We're making our way up to 1,200 subscribers, man. I can't thank y'all enough for hitting that subscribe button as much as you guys have done. When I started this, I didn't even expect to get 50 subs. So at almost 1,200, man, is a blessing for me. So I thank y'all for that. Also, don't forget to comment your thoughts on the action, and what you expect from the rest of the season. If anybody stood out to you. If anybody you think had a great game or any of that, hit the comments with that. Don't forget to hit that join button to become a member. We are working on putting together some giveaways sometime this month for some free memberships. So definitely keep it locked in for that. Definitely keep it locked into the socials for that for sure. Or you can hit the super thanks, or you can donate to the Cash App at $SWAG Talk. Anything will be appreciated. So let's go ahead and jump directly into this, man. We're going to start off with the women's action. It was a mixed bag when you look at in terms of margin of victories. There were out of the 6 games, 3 of the 6 games were 10 points or less, and the other 3 were blowouts. So that was, whatever you wanted in this aspect, you got it. You got close game, you got blowouts, you got it all. So we're just going to start at the top and make our way through. And the first game we're going to talk about is Jackson State beating Alcorn by a score of 74-46. It didn't take long for JSU to take control of this game. They had a 21-point first quarter, holding Alcorn to 11 points in that quarter. Alcorn did cut into the lead in the second quarter, outscoring JSU 10-9 to make the halftime score 30-21. And then JSU scored 44 points in the second half to pull away in this game, improving their record to 6-6 overall and 1-0 in conference. Alcorn drops to 2-10 and 0-1 in conference. The Braves were paced by Zanaya White. She had 21 points and 9 rebounds. Big game for her. She was the only Brave in double figures. She also was 7 of 16 from the field, and 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, and 6 of 9 from the free throw line. The Braves finished the night with 38 rebounds. They also had 1 block on the night and 5 steals. They turned the ball over 15 times. Alcorn finished the night shooting 27% from the field, 15% from 3, and 57% from the line. JSU was led by Telon Bowler, who led 5 Tigers in double figures. Maya Crump had 13. Zakiya Mahoney had 11. Angel Jackson had 10 points and 12 rebounds. So she had a double-double to lead the team in that aspect. And Adriana Avent had 14 points off the bench for the Tigers. Bowler was 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from the 3-point line, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Jackson also chipped in 3 blocks on the night, giving the Tigers 5 blocks on the game. They also had 8 steals, 45 rebounds. and only 13 turnovers. They shot 34% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line, and 77% from the free throw line. Their largest lead in the game, I, I thought it would say it, but it didn't say it at that point. But there was one tie and two lead changes in this game, but JSU was able to scored 21 points off of 20 points off of turnovers to really kind of take advantage of this game. So big victory for JSU to get the SWAC season off to a good start for them. Alcorn, they were game in the middle of it, but couldn't really make much out of it. So JSU was able to take control and get the victory there. The next game that we want to talk about on our schedule will be let's see, where are we? Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats and Rattlers hook up. This is a rivalry game. Both teams coming out to play hard. Bethune-Cookman had a very solid non-conference slate, and they are looking to make that happen again in conference play. All right, here we go. Let's get this right, man. It's conference play. Let's get this right. All right. Wildcats win this game by a score of 80-76. Florida A&M actually led after the first quarter, 12-11. 24-point second quarter by Bethune-Cookman gave them the lead going into the half. They also scored 24 points in the third quarter and 20 in the fourth quarter. Although FAMU scored 30 in the fourth to make this a 4-point game at the end. Rattlers dropped to 1-11 and 0-1 in conference. 10-4 for Bethune-Cookman and 1-0 in conference. Ariana Grizzle led the Rattlers with 21 points. She also had 2 rebounds on the night and 4 steals. Olivia Delancey had 29 points off the bench for the Rattlers. She was 11 of 26 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3, and 3 of 3 from the line. She also had 8 rebounds. Nashani Gilbert had a double-double for the Rattlers. She had 10 points and 14 rebounds, also had 2 steals and 4 assists, so a really, really good game for her. Delancey also had 7 assists to lead the Rattlers. They finished with 38 rebounds, 17 turnovers on the night, 12 assists, 2 blocks, and 10 steals. So they did have a really solid game, forcing some turnovers by Bethune-Cookman. They finished the night shooting 40% from the field, 30% from the 3-point line, and 69% from the free throw line. Bethune-Cookman was led by Chanel McDonald with 20 points and 7 rebounds. She was 5 of 8 from the field and 10 of 11 from the free throw line. Also, Chanel Wilson had 14 points. Deshante Edwards had 12 points. Kayla White and Kayla Clark both had 11 points off the bench, so they had 5 players in double figures. McDonald had 7 rebounds, and Edwards had 8 to lead the team. She also had 7 assists, so a big game for Deshante Edwards for the Wildcats. They would shoot 52% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line, and 62% from the free throw line. So really, FAMU, two players over 20 points were able to really kind of come alive in terms of getting some scoring and some nice play from a couple of other players. But Bethune-Cookman right now is a very balanced team, and they've been playing really well offensively, and they continued that in this game, and that makes for a tough task for teams to beat a team like that, especially at home. Bethune-Cookman is a tough. They play tough at home, and they did last season, and they're continuing that this season. So really, really good outing for the Wildcats. Rattlers, they were game, but they just couldn't seal the deal. Our next game, Prairie View drops of 82-54 decision to Grambling. Grambling, this game was tied up at 14 after the first quarter. A 21-point 21-point second quarter for Grambling gave them the lead going into the half, and then they would score 29 points in the third quarter and 18 in the fourth to stretch their lead. They finished they're 7-5 right now and 1-0 in conference, 4-7 for Prairie View and 0-1 in conference. 21 points from Ryan Payne led the Panthers. She was 8 of 18 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, and 4 of 4 from the line. Desiree Lewis had 8 rebounds and 9 points for the Panthers. They only had one score in double digits. Uh, Adriana Waddle had 8 rebounds off the bench. The Panthers finished with 30 rebounds. They had 12 assists, 20 turnovers on the night, 1 block, and 6 steals. They would shoot 36% from the field, 16% from the 3-point line, going 1 of 6 and 61% from the free throw line. Grambling was led by Kayla Wormsley with 21 points off the bench. She was 8 of 10 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line, and 3 of 3 from the 3-point line, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. They had 3 players with 4 rebounds to pace the team. They would finish the night with 31 rebounds, 18 assists, 17 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 13 steals. So they did a really good job of forcing Prairie View to turn the ball over. Like I said, Panthers had 20 turnovers on the night, so couldn't really get any rhythm. Grambling would end up shooting 62% from the field, 62% from the 3-point line, and only 57% from the free throw line. But they found a way to harass Prairie View and make things tough for them. And the Panthers, really had a tough going of it, trying to get themselves on track. And Grambling was able to win this game going away. Really a nice victory for Grambling. Coming off of that game they had last week, you kind of want to see the team continue to play with some rhythm, and they did that in this game, picking up a big victory at home. Southern would beat Texas Southern by a score of 64-45. The Lady Jags used a big second half to get the victory in this one. TSU turned the ball over quite a bit in the second half. This was a tight game after the first half. Score was 31-28. Southern led at that point, but Southern would hold TSU to 15 points in the second half to pull away and win this game by 19. Deja Holmes led TSU with 14 points. She was the only Tiger in double digits. She was 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4 from the 3-point line, and 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. She also led Shamari Phillips led the team with 5 rebounds. They would turn the ball over 29 times and only have 8 assists, finished with 32 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 6 steals. They would finish the night shooting 36% from the field, 15% from the 3-point line, and 77% from the free throw line. Southern was led in scoring by Genovia Johnson with 13 points. Leah Fontenot had 10. And Tiana Lidge had 8. Sky Castro led the Jags with 8 rebounds on the night. Southern would have 43 rebounds. They would turn the ball over. They would turn the ball over 16 times, have 15 assists, 4 blocks, and 18 steals. They, like I said, when a team turns the ball over 29 times, you're gonna get your fair share of steals. And Southern was able to force a ton of turnovers and get their hands on the ball quite a bit. Second half, they turned up the pressure and was able to force TSU to really be uncomfortable handling the ball, and that led to some easy scores for Southern. The Jags shot 36% from the field, 21% from the 3-point line, and 58% from the free throw line, which is a place that Southern struggled all last season, and it kind of seems to still be that way right now. But definitely a great second half when you can hold a team to 15 points in the entire second half. You're doing something well defensively, and that's the mark of Southern. They play pretty solid defense, and they find a way to turn you over. One of the top teams right now in the conference is Pine Bluff, and they opened up their conference play with a victory over Alabama A&M, 75-67. Golden Lions moved to 6-8 overall, 1-0 in conference. Alabama A&M drops to 5-8 and 0-1 in conference. Pretty tightly contested game for the first half. Both teams were able to kind of do some damage in the first half. Finished tied at half at 32. A 23-point third quarter was able to give the Golden Lions the lead, and then both teams played to a 20-20 tie in the fourth quarter, which the 8-point difference in the third quarter was the difference in this game, and the Golden Lions was able to survive this game. 4 Bulldogs in double figures, led by Kayla Turner with 16. Alicia Wilson had 14. Amara Simmons and Kaylin Nash both had 11. Wilson led the team with 6 rebounds, along with Nash. She also had 6 rebounds. Turner was 6 of 19 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, and 4 of 6 from the line. Turnovers, like I said, was an issue for the Bulldogs in this game. They had 25 turnovers on the night. They did have 21 assists, but they just were too careless with the ball in this game. They had two steals and 14 blocks. I mean, 2 blocks and 14 steals. Finished with 39 rebounds. They shot 41% from the field, 21% from 3, and 60% from the line. Kariah Beck had 16 points to pace the Golden Lions, and Zay Green chipped in with 15 along with Jaleesa Reese. Um, Beck was 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 5 from the 3-point line, and 8 of 12 from the free throw line. Green led the team with 6 rebounds on the night. Uh, she was in foul trouble. She finished with 4 fouls, but she also had 8 assists on the night, 2 blocks and 3 steals. So still a solid game for her. 33 rebounds for the Golden Lions. They had 18 assists. They turned the ball over 22 times. So this was a sloppy game in terms of keeping control of the ball. Both teams over 20 turnovers, 7 blocks for the Golden Lions, and 12 steals. They would shoot 46% from the field, 21% from 3, and 70% from the free throw line. Um, 38 points in the paint was one of the differences in this game for the Golden Lions. They were able to kind of make some things happen. This game did have 9 ties and 9 lead changes, so it was a very tightly contested game that ultimately ended up in an 8-point margin. If one of these teams that cut down on their turnovers, then you probably would have saw a blowout on one side. But turnovers by Pine Bluff kept Alabama A&M in this game, and turnovers by the Bulldogs kind of kept them from getting back into the game. So turnovers can definitely hurt you, and you see that in this game. But still a big victory for Pine Bluff as they pick up their first conference win of the season, which is always a good way to get yourself going. You don't want to. You don't really. You don't want to start 0-1. Yes, these games you play 18 of these things, and one is not going to kill you, but it's always great to win that first one. Alabama State and Valley had a very, very tight game. Hornets won this game 57-54 as they improved their record to 1-11 on the season, 1-0 in conference. Valley drops to 1-13 and 0-1 in conference. Valley led this game by 7 after 1. The Hornets would lead 31-28 at the half, and they would outscore Valley by 8 points in the third quarter to maintain their lead. Valley would outscore the Hornets by 8 points. Both teams scored 26 points in the second half, and that 3-point margin was the final margin. So 57-54 for the Hornets. They were led in scoring by Khadijah Harris with 16 points and 13 rebounds. Big double-double for her. She was 8 of 15 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Did not attempt a free throw. Also in double figures was Ashley Gray with 11 off the bench, and Whitney Dunn had 10 points as a starter. The Hornets finished the night with 43 rebounds. They had 7 assists, turned the ball over 22 times, 4 blocks and 3 steals. Shot 41% from the field, 35% from the line, and 62% from the free throw line. The Delta Devils were led by Shadiman McKnight. And I told y'all earlier that's a name to look out for, and she had a pretty good game, 18 points, 5 of 14 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, but 8 of 13 from the line. Finished with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 steals. She was the only Delta Devil with double figures. The Delta Devils finished with 37 rebounds. They had 9 assists. They only turned the ball over 12 times, so that definitely helped them in this game. 6 blocks and 10 steals. They shot 30% from the field, 6% from the 3-point line, and 61% from the free throw line. This game had 5 ties and 5 lead changes. Valley was able to get 22 points off of turnovers, which definitely kept them in this game, but 32 points in the paint for the Hornets was a big difference for them, as well as 13 second chance points. So big game for the Hornets. They also got 37 points off the bench, which when you get two double-figure scores off the bench, you're gonna have that. But that was a great first week, great first day of SWAC women's action. Looking at the games for this upcoming Monday, Texas Southern is at Grambling, Prairie View is at Southern, um, Alabama A&M is at Valley, and Alabama State is at Pine Bluff. All of those games are 5:30. Three of those games are 5:30 tips. The Alabama State Pine Bluff game is a 5 o'clock tip. Um, so definitely make sure y'all check those games out. Switching over to the men's side, um, the games on the men's side were much more closely contested this weekend. A lot of close games on the men's side. Everybody pretty much battled it out. I think the women's side is going to be a 3-team race, maybe 4. The men's side is gonna. I think there's a lot of teams that can make some waves in on the men's side of things. So it's gonna be highly contested. It's gonna be a battle, and you're gonna have to be able to win on the road. And yesterday, only 2 teams won on the road. The other 4 won at home. So you definitely don't want to lose home games if you want to keep yourself in contention. We'll start off with the battle for Florida. The Wildcats beat the Rattlers 98-86. FAMU drops to 2-10 and 0-1 in conference. 6-8 for Bethune-Cookman and 1-0 in conference. 32 points for Jalen Spear to lead the Rattlers. He finished 13 of 22 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, and 3 or 4 from the line. He had 2 rebounds and 6 assists on the night. Also, Shannon Grant had 18 points off the bench. He was 8 of 10 from the field. He had 4 rebounds, and Roderick Coffey had 13 points and 6 rebounds. Those 6 rebounds, along with Jadarius Eatman, who also had 6 rebounds. Those rebounds led the team. Rattlers finished with 31 rebounds, 25 assists, 16 turnovers, one block, and 6 steals. They shot 52% from the field, so really solid shooting night for them. 44% from 3 and 66% from the line. This was a pretty big lead in the first half for Bethune-Cookman. They led 54-33 at the half. Rattlers would outscore the Wildcats by 9 in the second half to make the margin finish at 12. But Bethune-Cookman was able to get it going. They got 30 points from Deshaun Dyson. He was 11 of 22 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3, and 3 of 6 from the line. He had 4 rebounds and 5 assists and 1 steal. They also got 21 points from Reggie Ward. He was 8 of 10 from the field and 5 of 5 from the line. Jacoby Hetty had 17 points, and Zion Harmon had 14 points and 10 assists. So he had a double-double with assists, which is something you don't see too often in college basketball. Wildcats finished with 28 rebounds. They had 24 assists, 10 turnovers, took care of the ball very well. They had 4 blocks and 14 steals. They would shoot 58% from the field, 44% from 3, and 63% from the free throw line. So both of these teams shot the ball extremely well away from the free throw line. Both teams shot the ball over 50% from the field, which is scorching hot, especially in a game like this. Typically in a blowout, you might see one team struggle to score the ball. Both teams, each half, were pretty hot, and everything was falling for everybody. So that was definitely a game. If you like offense, then that was the game for you. Now, there was a game coming a little bit later in the recap that was the opposite of that when it comes to offense, and we'll get to that game in a minute. But we'll go to Jackson State and Alcorn. Braves drop an 88-80 decision to the Tigers. JSU scored 44 points in both halves. Halftime score, they led by 5, 44-39. And then they would outscore Alcorn by 3 in the second half, 44-41 to win this game 88-80. JSU improved to 5-9 and 1-0 in conference. 1-13 for the Braves and 0-1 in conference. Jeremiah Kendall, 17 points, 10 rebounds. Good game for him. Another one of those players to watch that I had on my video, which I'm gonna link at the end of the video. He finished 6 of 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He had 2 assists as well, 2 steals. Also, Bennett 15 points, Gambrell 11, and Byard had 10. Braves finished with 37 rebounds. They had nine assists, only 6 turnovers, no blocks, and 7 steals. They shot 41% from the field, 11% from the 3-point line, which is definitely going to hurt you in a game that's tight like this, and 78% from the free throw line. They had 44 points in the paint. This game did have a couple of technical fouls. Alcorn had 2 techs. JSU had 2 techs. So I mean, this is a rivalry game, so it's definitely gonna be a heated affair. This game had 6 ties and 11 lead changes. Both teams did well in the paint. JSU finished with 42 points in the paint. They were led by Colty Young with 26 points. He was 9 of 18 from the field, 6 of 14 from the 3-point line, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Jordan O'Neal, 19 points and 6 rebounds. He was 9 of 11 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. He fouled out in this game. He also had 2 blocks. Ken Evans had 15 points and 8 rebounds. Chase Adams had 8 rebounds from his point guard spot. And Zeke Cook had 8 rebounds. Adams also had 14 points, 4 of 10 from the field, and 6 of 6 from the line. Adams also had 8 assists as well. He nearly had a triple-double. Needed 2 rebounds and 2 assists, and he would have had a triple-double in this game. Also had 2 steals. So a really good game for him. 37 rebounds for the Tigers. They had 17 assists, 10 turnovers, 5 blocks, and 2 steals. So this game was, both teams, really were pretty careful with the ball. Only 16 combined turnovers. So definitely a game where turnovers were at a premium. And that's something that you don't see too often in a game that's highly paced like this. But both teams were really solid with the ball. JSU shot 50% from the field, 29% from the 3-point line, and 80% from the free throw line. Both teams shot over 75% from the free throw line. So another good game there. Like I said, both teams did a really good job. 6 ties, 11 lead changes. Was a battle throughout, and Alcorn came up on the short end. JSU a big win, getting that opening win, and beating your rival early is always a good way to get your SWAC season started. Our next game that we have is Pine Bluff and Alabama A&M. This was a very close game. Bulldogs win it by 163-62. Pine Bluff led by 2 at the half. Bulldogs outscored the Golden Lions by 3 in the second half, 35-32, to win this game by 163-62. Bulldogs improved to 2-12 and 1-0 in conference. Golden Lions dropped to 5-9 and 0-1 in conference. Omari Peak led the Bulldogs with 21 points. He was their only scorer in double digits. Lorenzo Downey had 13 rebounds to lead the Bulldogs. They would finish the night with 44 rebounds. They had 14 assists. They did turn the ball over 26 times, which is a killer in a game like this, although they were able to withstand those 26 turnovers and get the win. They finished with 4 blocks and 9 steals. They would shoot 50% from the field, 44% from 3, and 50% from the free throw line. So that's a big issue for me. Shooting 50% from the free throw line is not good, but being able to survive poor free throw shooting and turnovers, that definitely they were able to overcome that. They finished the night with 40 points in the paint as well. Pine Bluff only finished with 24 points in the paint. They got 30 points off of Bulldog turnovers. So 30 of their 63 points, 30 of their 62 points came off of Alabama A&M turnovers. So that's a big difference in this game. Golden Lions finished the night being led by Lionel Martin with 20 points. Ismail Pleat had 15 points. Colin Milton had 12 points to pace the Golden Lions. Martin was 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, and 5 of 5 from the line. Pleat had 7 rebounds to lead the team. And Milton had 4 assists as well. Golden Lions finished the night with 22 rebounds, so they got out-rebounded by 22. Bulldogs are a big team. They last season they were a very tall team. This season they still have some good size. So they were able to have their way inside on the boards. Golden Lions 11 assists, 14 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 16 steals. They finished with 37% shooting from the field, 25% from the 3-point line, and 81% from the free throw line. So forcing turnovers and shooting free throws well kept the Golden Lions in this game. They shot 19. They shot 19 free throws in the second half, compared to Alabama A&M shooting 10 free throws in the second half. Um, that's I don't want to say that's home cooking, but sometimes when you have a discrepancy in free throws in the SWAC, a lot of times referees will help you get back in games or keep games close. And Bulldogs did their share of keeping the game close with all those turnovers. So I think that kind of cancels out the free throw discrepancy. If the Bulldogs took care of the ball more, their game probably would not have been as close. Our next game on the night was a game that was, I don't even know if I want to call it a defensive game. Both teams played pretty solid defense, but neither team could shoot the ball. They couldn't put the ball in the Mississippi River from the levee the way these teams were shooting. But Southern would win 58-51 over Texas Southern to improve to 7-7 and 1-0 in conference. Tigers dropped to 2-10 and 0-1 in conference. This was the tale of two halves. First half, TSU was able to build up a 10-point lead early, 18-8, before Southern went on a run in the last 5 minutes to pull it within 2 at the half. Tigers led 26-24, and then Southern would basically take the lead about early portions of the second half and outscore TSU 34-25 to win this game by 7. TSU went on a late run to cut the lead down to, I believe, like 5 or 6, but Southern made free throws down the stretch to win this game. Like I said, neither team shot well. TSU was led by Jonathan Cisse with 11 points on the night. He was the only Tiger in double figures. PJ Henry finished with 9. They both kind of struggled from the field. Cisse 3 of 14 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, and 3 of 4 from the line. Henry was 4 of 15 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and 1 of 5 from the line. Kobe Granger led the Tigers. He had 8 rebounds, and Kenny Hunter had 12 rebounds off the bench for the Tigers to pace the team. 41 rebounds for Tennessee, 41 rebounds for Texas Southern, 13 assists, 12 turnovers. They had 3 blocks and 8 steals. They shot 25% from the field, including 20% in the second half. They shot 17% from the 3-point line and 58% from the free throw line. So just a bad night shooting for TSU. Southern was not much better shooting the ball. They were led by Dejane Dumasi with 15 points. He was the only Jaguar in double figures. He finished 4 of 12 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 7 of 8 from the line. He had 4 assists to lead the Jaguars. Derek Tazino had 6 rebounds along with Jarian Wilkins. They both had 6 rebounds. And Neil Brente Noel also had 6 rebounds for the Jaguars. They finished with 40 rebounds, 11 assists, 15 turnovers, 6 blocks, and 9 steals. They would shoot 34% from the field, 15% from 3, and 66% from the line. So just not a really good shooting night for either team. Both teams were pretty even in points in the paint. Southern had 26, TSU had 20. 9 fast break points for TSU. Southern had 9 fast break points. Southern got 22 points on the bench, TSU 25. So this was honestly a pretty even game, even though neither team could really shoot the ball well at all. And that made for a pretty kind of, if you're a fan of watching a game, this was a frustrating game to watch from either side because neither team could put the ball in the basket. And that's what that's what you do in basketball. And if you can't do it, it makes for a tough game. Now, some games are low scoring because the defense is great. I don't necessarily think the defense was bad in this game, but there was so many poorly missed shots. Both sides were really off on their shooting. And I know both teams can shoot better than that. Our final game of the day was probably the most interesting game, at least from what I saw. Valley lost to Alabama State 54-51, basically at the end of the game. And to kind of give you an idea of how this game ended, Valley actually had the lead late in this game. Um, had a chance to kind of put the Hornets away. They led they led they led 51-48 with 30 seconds left in the game. After they hit a three-pointer to break a 48-48 tie. Um, Basically, Alabama State would make a free throw. They would then miss a free throw, get the rebound, and T.J. Matlock would tip it in and get fouled, and he would make the free throw to put Bama State up by one with 6 seconds left. Valley had a chance, turn the ball over, and then Amar Knox dunked the ball at the end of the game, made the score 54-51. So that's a game that Valley should have won. I mean, when you're leading by three late, you should not lose. I mean, of course things happen, but that's something that you probably should have had locked up. Valley led 22-21 at the half. Bama State would outscore them 33-29 in the second half. Like I said, to win by three, 54-51. Hornets improved to 6-8 overall and 1-0 in conference. Valley drops to 0-14 and 0-1 overall. 0-1 in conference. Madlock finished the night with 13 points and 3 rebounds. He was the only Hornet in double figures. He was 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and 6 of 11 from the free throw line. The Isaiah Range and Micah Octave had 7 rebounds apiece to lead the team. They finished the night with 38 rebounds. They had 5 assists and 11 turnovers, no blocks and 8 steals. They would shoot 34% from the field, 11% from the 3-point line, and 61% from the free throw line. Valley was led by Donovan Sanders with 11 points. They also had 3 other guys in double figures. Raekwon Brown had 10, Danny Washington had 10, and Arco Gibson had 10 points as well. Gibson and Brown both had double doubles, 10 and 11 for Brown, and 10 and 10 for Gibson. So really big game for both of those guys. Valley finished the night with 33 rebounds. They would get out rebounded by 5. They finished with 8 assists, 16 turnovers, 4 blocks, and 6 steals. They would shoot 42% from the field, 38% from the line, from the 3-point line, and 66% from the free throw line. 20 points in the paint for the Delta Devils, 28 for the Hornets, 18 points over turnovers for the Hornets, and Valley had 10 points over turnovers, 19 bench points for the Hornets, and 10 for Valley. 7 ties and 4 lead changes. Like I said, another tightly contested game. And the ending of this game was just crazy. It's on YouTube. You can check it on the Valley YouTube channel if you like to see a game that ended in a crazy fashion. Like we said before, the Monday matchups, Alabama A&M is at Valley. That's a 7:30 tip. Texas Southern is at Grambling, also a 7:30 tip. Bama State at Pine Bluff, 7:30 tip. And Prairie View is at Southern. That's an 8 p.m. tip. So that's where we stand right now. 4 games on Monday. We'll recap those games on Wednesday. Probably going to try to drop a video on Tuesday. Probably most likely continue my football season recaps. And then we have SWAC Smoke on Thursday. And then we'll continue to bring you our basketball action from now. So I'm glad SWAC basketball players here. I hope you guys feel the same. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked with us at SWAC Talk. We're trying to do some bigger and better things, trying to bring you some more content, working on putting together some different shows as well. So with that being said, man, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC C Wells, signing out, and I'm going to catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.